The call came while I was standing in the rain, my duffel bag soaking through. 5 years married, 5 years reduced to a sidewalk. My wife's voice still rang in my ears, sharp, rehearsed. "You're a damaged veteran!" she'd screamed, loud enough for the neighbors. Her arm lifted high. Purple blooms. Too perfect. My stepdaughter stood beside her, eyes dry, chin trembling on cue. They didn't look at me. They performed me. A patrol car idled at the curb. No sirens, just presence. The officer avoided my eyes. Already decided. I remember thinking how strange it was that after surviving ambushes, interrogations, nights where sleep felt optional, this was what exile looked like. A phone vibrated in my pocket. Unknown number, I answered without thinking. "If you want to join Thanksgiving," a woman snapped, breathless with authority. "Come wash the dishes." My daughter-in-law, always generous with orders when money wasn't hers. I stared at the wet concrete, at my reflection fractured by puddles. "Enjoy," I said. I hung up before she could inhale again. That night, sitting in a motel that smelled like bleach and old lies, I uploaded a single photo to a private cloud album. A terrace, alpine light, glass walls, my Swiss villa paid for years before I met any of them. I turned the phone face down. It rang 71 times before dawn. People think betrayal arrives like an explosion. It doesn't, it seeps. Looking back, the bruises were just the punctuation. The sentence had been forming for months. Whispered calls that stopped when I entered a room. Bank statements misplaced. My stepdaughter suddenly calling another man uncle with too much warmth. And the money. I noticed money the way a soldier notices silence. Instinctively. The joint account drained in neat, disciplined withdrawals. Not impulse, planning. When I asked, my wife smiled. That same smile she used when explaining away late nights. "You worry too much," she said. She always said it gently, like concern. I wanted to believe her. Belief is easier than recalibration. On our anniversary morning, she kissed my cheek and flinched, as if expecting a blow that never came. By evening, the bruises existed. By night, I didn't. They told the story fast. Abuse, trauma, a broken man back from war. They didn't know how careful I was, how control was the only thing I brought home intact. I didn't argue, didn't shout, didn't defend myself. I watched. Because liars hate silence. It makes them talk. Exile is useful. It removes distractions. From a different city, under a different name, I started assembling facts the way I once assembled missions. Methodical, quiet. Phone records first. A second number hidden under a florist's account. DNA next. A swab taken from a coffee cup she'd thrown away weeks earlier. I waited for the results without emotion. Hope is a liability. I reviewed security footage from the house. Timestamps altered. Bruises applied off camera. Makeup kits don't lie. Neither do financial trails. Shell companies bloomed like mold. Accounts tied to a man I recognized from my stepdaughter's soccer games. The uncle. He wasn't subtle. He didn't need to be. They thought I was gone. I answered calls occasionally. Let my daughter-in-law vent. "You're selfish," she spat once. "You could at least help." I imagined her face when she learned the truth. Not anger. Confusion. I forwarded nothing. Said nothing. And then the report arrived. 3 pages. Clinical. Final. I read it once. Then I made coffee. I returned on a Tuesday. No warning. The house smelled the same. Lavender and deceit. My wife froze when she saw me. The man from the soccer field stood behind her, holding a glass like it might shield him. I placed the envelope on the table. DNA results, financial summaries, photographs, timestamps intact. "I already knew," I said. Softly. Her mouth opened, closed. The bruises were gone now, skin unblemished. My stepdaughter started crying. Real this time. She hadn't known. "They never tell the children everything." The man reached for the door. "Sit," I said. He did. I didn't raise my voice. Didn't need to. The truth does the heavy lifting. The FBI arrived an hour later. Not for me. Turns out siphoning money through defense contractor accounts tied to my old clearance. Triggers alarms. Lots of them. I watched from the corner as cuffs clicked shut. As my wife's face drained of color, she looked at me like a stranger. "You ruined us," she whispered. I shook my head. "You ruined yourselves," I said. "I just stopped covering for you." My phone buzzed. 71 missed calls had become hundreds. I answered one. My daughter-in-law was sobbing now. The villa photos had circulated. Reality had arrived. "Why didn't you tell us?" she cried. I ended the call. Closure doesn't require witnesses. I left the house empty. No souvenirs. No bitterness. On the flight back to Switzerland, I watched clouds form and dissolve. Borders mean less when you stop needing permission. They'll tell stories about me. They always do. But stories don't survive evidence. I stand on my terrace now, wine untouched, phone silent at last. The mountains don't care who you were accused of being. They only reflect what you are, and I am done explaining myself.